How to develop, build resilience and thrive through adversity. Introduction. Your innate power. Life is a remarkable journey, filled with moments of breathtaking joy and profound connection, but it also inevitably presents us with challenges, setbacks, and sometimes deep adversity. No one, absolutely no one, moves through life untouched by hardship. It might be the unexpected loss of a job, a health crisis that changes everything, a broken relationship that leaves you reeling, or simply the relentless pressure of daily life that accumulates until you feel overwhelmed. In these moments, it is natural to feel shaken, perhaps even broken, and to wonder if you have the strength to stand tall again. You might find yourself questioning your ability to cope, to heal, or to truly live fully after a difficult experience. This book is written with one unwavering purpose: to show you that the strength you need is not just available to you, but it is already profoundly present within you. Many of us look at individuals who seem to navigate life's storms with grace and unwavering composure, and we imagine them to be born with some extraordinary inner fortitude, a gift that was somehow withheld from us. We tell ourselves that they are unbreakable or naturally resilient, and this perception can make our own struggles feel even more isolating and insurmountable. This belief is a pervasive myth, and it is time to dismantle it. The truth is far more empowering. Resilience is not a fixed trait you are either born with or without. It is a dynamic, learnable skill, a muscle that grows stronger with intentional practice and the right kind of training. You already possess the fundamental capacity for resilience, just as you possess the capacity to learn a new language or master a new skill. What you need are the tools, the understanding, and the actionable steps to cultivate it. Think of it this way. When a sapling is young, it is flexible and can sway gently in the breeze. As it encounters stronger winds, it does not just resist, it bends, it adapts, its roots deepen, and its trunk thickens. With each storm it endures, it becomes more firmly anchored, more capable of withstanding the next gale. It does not escape the storms, but it grows because of them. You too are like that tree. The challenges you face, while painful and difficult in the moment, hold within them the potential for profound growth. They can be the very forces that compel you to develop new strengths, discover hidden resources, and forge an inner core that is truly unshakable. This book is your guide to understanding and harnessing that transformative power. We are not going to offer you a way to bypass pain or to pretend that life's difficulties do not hurt. That would be unrealistic and ultimately unhelpful. Instead, this book will equip you with a practical framework and actionable strategies to process your experiences, to learn from them, and to integrate them into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. You will learn how to shift your perspective, manage your emotions effectively, challenge unhelpful thought patterns, and build a powerful support system around you. We will delve into real-world examples, draw upon insights from psychological research, and provide concrete exercises that you can immediately apply to your own life. This is not just a book to read, it is a workbook for your soul, a blueprint for building enduring inner strength. The journey we are about to embark on together is about empowering you to reclaim agency in your life. It is about moving from feeling like a passive victim of circumstance to becoming an active participant in shaping your own well-being and future. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of fear or doubt holds a lesson, a chance to refine your character and expand your capacity. By developing built resilience, you will not only be able to recover from adversity faster, but you will also learn to approach future challenges with a profound sense of inner confidence and adaptability. You will transform from someone who simply survives difficult times into someone who actively thrives through them, using every experience, good or bad, as a catalyst for ongoing growth. This incredible power already resides within you. It is time to awaken it, nurture it, and make it the foundation of a life lived with courage, purpose, and enduring strength. Chapter 1. The Myth of Unbreakable. what resilience truly is. When the word resilience enters our conversations, it often conjures a very specific image in our minds. We picture someone perpetually strong, effortlessly composed, their demeanor unruffled even in the face of immense pressure. They are the ones who appear to sail through crises without a single tear, without a moment of doubt, never seeming to break a sweat. This idealized version of a resilient person, often seen in movies or portrayed in media, is the unbreakable archetype. We tell ourselves that these individuals are somehow fundamentally different, born with an extraordinary toughness that is beyond our reach. This pervasive myth, however, is not only inaccurate, but can also be deeply damaging, creating an impossible standard that can hinder your own journey toward cultivating inner strength. It is time to shatter this illusion and embrace the real, human, and incredibly powerful truth about what resilience genuinely means. Let us be crystal clear from the outset. Truly resilient people are not emotionless robots. They do not magically bypass feelings of pain, sadness, frustration, fear, or profound grief. In fact, they experience these emotions deeply, sometimes even more intensely, because they allow themselves to fully feel and process them. The difference lies not in the absence of struggle, but in how they engage with that struggle. Imagine a sturdy oak tree standing in the middle of a powerful hurricane. Does it remain perfectly rigid, unmoving, and stiff? Absolutely not. If it were completely unyielding, the force of the wind would snap its trunk. Instead, the tree flexes, its branches bend and sway violently. Some leaves may be torn away. It yields to the force, adapts its posture, and yet its deep roots hold firm. After the storm passes, it gradually straightens up, perhaps even with stronger, more deeply anchored roots and a refined appreciation for stillness. That bending, that yielding, that adaptation, that ability to lose some parts and still remain rooted and upright, that is a profound metaphor for resilience in action. So if it is not about being unbreakable, what exactly is resilience then? At its core, resilience is the ability to bounce back, adapt, and grow from adversity. Let us break down those three crucial components. First, bounce back implies a return to a state of equilibrium, not necessarily to precisely where you were before the challenge, but to a functional, healthy, and stable place. It is about recovery and regeneration. Second, adapt means making necessary changes in your thinking, your emotional responses, or your actions to effectively cope with a new or difficult situation. Life is constantly changing, and resilience is about adjusting your sails when the winds shift direction, rather than trying to force the boat in a predetermined course against the current. Third, and perhaps most transformative, is grow. This is the part of resilience that is often overlooked in popular understanding. Resilience is not merely about survival or getting back to normal. It is about emerging from a challenge with new insights, new skills, a deeper understanding of yourself, and a more profound appreciation for life. It is about what psychologists call post-traumatic growth, where individuals report positive psychological changes as a result of struggling with highly challenging circumstances. Consider a simple, everyday example to illustrate these points. Think about a time you faced a significant failure, perhaps a failed project at work, a business venture that did not succeed, or a personal goal you did not achieve. Someone operating under the unbreakable myth might believe that feeling disappointment or frustration means they are not resilient. But a truly resilient person acknowledges the disappointment. They allow themselves to feel the sting of it. That is the bounce back starting. Then they adapt. They might ask, what went wrong here? What could I have done differently? They do not dwell endlessly on the failure itself, but shift their focus to learning. They might research new strategies, seek feedback, or adjust their approach for the next attempt. This is the adapt phase. Finally, they grow. They might gain invaluable experience, develop a stronger problem-solving capacity, build a more robust network of contacts, or even discover a new passion or direction they would never have considered had the initial path worked out. They emerge not only recovered, but significantly stronger and wiser because of the experience. The scientific basis for understanding resilience as a learnable skill is rooted in neuroscience, specifically in the concept of neuroplasticity. This is the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. For decades, it was believed that the adult brain was largely static, fixed in its structure and function. However, extensive research, particularly over the last few decades, has definitively shown that our brains are incredibly adaptable. Every new experience, every new thought pattern, every new skill learned physically changes the brain's structure and function. This means that the pathways in your brain that dictate how you respond to stress, how you manage emotions, and how you perceive challenges are not set in stone. They can be rewired. You can literally train your brain to become more resilient, regardless of your past experiences or your age. This scientific understanding is incredibly empowering because it means that feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or emotionally fragile are not permanent conditions. Your capacity for resilience can be intentionally developed, just like any other cognitive or physical ability. This development is not about avoiding problems or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Instead, it is about consciously choosing to develop the tools and the inner framework to navigate difficulties with greater strength, wisdom, and grace. It is about understanding that you will inevitably experience hardship, but you possess the profound power to choose how that hardship shapes you. Will it break you, leaving you diminished? Or will it refine you, forging you into an even more capable, insightful, and courageous individual? The choice, in your response, is always within your grasp. Resilience is an active process, not a passive state. It involves actively choosing to engage with your feelings rather than suppressing them. It involves choosing to learn from your experiences, even the painful ones. It involves choosing to take steps, even small ones, toward moving forward, even when every fiber of your being wants to give up. It is not about being fearless, but about acting despite your fear. It is not about never making mistakes or failing, but about extracting valuable lessons from those stumbles. It is about accepting that life is inherently unpredictable and often messy, but your inner strength can be a profound and unwavering constant amidst the chaos. This journey we are embarking on together is about building that consistent, reliable inner strength so that you can not only survive, but truly transform any adversity into a powerful springboard for your growth, your continued learning, and your ultimate thriving. You possess this profound capacity within you, waiting to be unleashed. Let us unlock it together. Chapter 2. Understanding your baseline. Where do you stand? Before you embark on any significant journey of personal growth and transformation, it is absolutely crucial to know precisely where you are starting from. Imagine wanting to improve your physical fitness. You would not simply jump into an advanced marathon training program without first assessing your current endurance, your strength levels, your flexibility, and any pre-existing limitations. Doing so would be inefficient, potentially harmful, and demotivating. The exact same principle applies when you commit to building your resilience. To genuinely develop your inner strength and learn to thrive through adversity, you first need a clear, honest understanding of your current coping mechanisms, your typical emotional responses to stress, and the patterns you tend to fall into when faced with difficulties. This initial phase is not about judgment, self-criticism, or finding flaws. It is about objective observation and gaining vital self-awareness. It is the foundational, incredibly powerful first step toward truly meaningful and sustainable change. So, how do you begin to map out your baseline resilience? The most effective way is to engage in a process of reflective self-inquiry, looking back at past experiences. Think about a challenging situation you have faced in your life. This does not have to be a major life-altering crisis like a severe illness or a catastrophic event. It could be something more common but still significant to you. A period of intense work stress, a personal disappointment, a conflict within a relationship, a financial setback, a difficult transition, or even a smaller, frustrating incident that genuinely tested your patience and emotional limits. Choose an event that you can recall with some clarity, something that genuinely made you feel stretched or uncomfortable. Once you have a specific situation in mind, begin to systematically recall the details. What exactly happened? Describe the circumstances surrounding the challenge as objectively as possible. Who was involved? When did it occur? What were the immediate triggers or events that led to the difficulty? The more precise you can be in recounting the facts, the clearer your subsequent self-analysis will become. Now, shift your focus inward and consider your emotional response during and immediately after that challenging experience. How did you feel? Take your time with this. Were you angry, frustrated, sad, anxious, overwhelmed, disappointed, scared, confused, or perhaps even numb? Did these feelings manifest physically? A tight knot in your stomach, tense shoulders, a racing heart. How long did these intense feelings last? Did they dissipate relatively quickly, or did they linger for days, weeks, or even longer, affecting your sleep, appetite, or mood? It is absolutely essential to be honest with yourself here. There is no right or wrong emotion. Every feeling is valid. The goal is simply to observe what was present for you. Did you tend to suppress your emotions, trying to push them down or ignore them entirely, hoping they would disappear on their own? Or did you express them openly, perhaps even intensely, verbally or through your actions? Did you bottle them up, leading to a build-up of internal pressure? Next, reflect on your behavioral response. What did you do when faced with that specific challenge? Your actions are crucial indicators of your current coping mechanisms. Did you withdraw from others, isolating yourself from friends, family, or colleagues who might have offered support? Did you find yourself lashing out, becoming irritable, argumentative, or snapping at those around you? Did you try to solve the problem directly, taking concrete, proactive steps, even if they were small ones? Did you seek advice or emotional support from trusted individuals in your life? Did you distract yourself with unhelpful activities like excessive social media scrolling, binge-watching television, overeating, drinking alcohol, or engaging in other avoidance behaviors that offered temporary relief but did not address the root issue? Did you procrastinate, putting off necessary decisions or actions? These actions, whether constructive or unhelpful, represent your current automatic responses and the tools you currently reach for in your resilience toolkit. After recalling your emotional and behavioral responses, critically evaluate what worked for you in that situation and what did not. Be specific. Did talking to a trusted friend or therapist provide a sense of relief or a new perspective? Did taking a break, engaging in a hobby, or spending time in nature help you clear your head and reduce stress? Did breaking the problem down into smaller, more manageable parts make it feel less overwhelming and allow you to take action? Conversely, what actions or thoughts proved unhelpful? Did dwelling endlessly on negative thoughts only exacerbate your anxiety or sadness? Did avoiding the problem cause it to fester and grow larger, creating more stress in the long run? By rigorously identifying what was effective and what was not, you gain invaluable insights into your default settings. You might discover that you possess powerful coping strategies that you rarely consciously employ, or that you habitually rely on strategies that offer only fleeting relief, but ultimately prolong your suffering or create new problems. Let us consider a few common patterns that people exhibit. Some individuals, when confronted with a problem, immediately leap into action, sometimes even impulsively, before fully understanding the situation. While swift action can be beneficial in certain circumstances, this approach can also lead to hasty decisions or overlooking crucial details. Others tend to ruminate, meaning they endlessly replay past events or future worries in their minds. This can create a constant loop of anxiety, worry, and helplessness, often leading to paralysis rather than productive action. Then, there are those who adopt an avoidance strategy, hoping that if they ignore the problem long enough, it will magically resolve itself. A tactic that, unfortunately, rarely works in the long term and often allows small issues to escalate into major crises. By recognizing your typical response patterns, you empower yourself to make conscious, intentional choices to alter them, to interrupt unhelpful cycles, and to implement more effective strategies. Another valuable way to assess your baseline beyond major life events is to observe your daily reactions to smaller, more common stressors. How do you typically react when you are stuck in unexpected traffic? When your plans for the day are suddenly disrupted? When you receive a mildly critical comment from a colleague or a dismissive remark from a loved one? These seemingly minor events are like miniature practice drills for your resilience muscles. Your immediate, automatic reactions to them offer significant clues about your general state of mind and your ingrained coping strategies. Do you immediately become irritable, agitated, and complain loudly? Do you take a brief pause, a deep breath, and then calmly adjust your expectations or plans? Do you simply push the annoyance down, letting the stress accumulate internally until it manifests later as tension or a headache? Observing these daily micro-reactions provides a realistic snapshot of your everyday resilience levels. Remember, this entire self-assessment process is deeply personal and for your eyes only. There is no predefined score to achieve, no performance to judge, and no standard against which you are being measured. It is simply an inventory, an honest look at your current state. Every single person has areas where their resilience is naturally stronger and areas where it could significantly benefit from more development. For example, you might discover that you are incredibly resilient in your professional life, capable of bouncing back quickly from career setbacks, job rejections, or difficult projects. However, you might struggle more with personal relationships, health challenges, or unexpected changes to your routine. Conversely, you might be excellent at managing your emotions in social settings, but find yourself overwhelmed by financial pressures. Acknowledging these specific nuances and variations within your own resilience profile gives you precise, targeted areas for improvement and growth. The ultimate goal of this baseline assessment is to transform you into an objective, compassionate observer of yourself. Just as a diligent scientist observes a phenomenon in a laboratory to understand its properties and behaviors, you are observing your own reactions, thoughts, and actions without labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. This understanding is profoundly empowering. Once you possess this clear picture of your starting point, you can then intentionally and strategically choose to develop new habits, consciously practice new ways of thinking, and build a more robust, adaptive inner foundation. This knowledge is not a revelation of weakness. It is, in fact, your initial strength, the fertile ground from which all future growth and increased resilience will spring. You are embarking on a powerful journey of self-discovery, and this initial step of honest, objective assessment is arguably the most vital. It truly is the first powerful tool you place into your evolving resilience toolkit. Chapter 3. The Mindset Shift, from Victim to Victor. Your mind is arguably the most powerful tool you possess. It functions much like the operating system for your entire life, processing information, shaping your perceptions, and dictating your responses to the world around you. How you perceive events, how you interpret situations, and the internal narrative or stories you tell yourself about your experiences profoundly determine your reality and your capacity to navigate challenges. This is where the concept of mindset becomes paramount, acting as a critical cornerstone in the journey to develop genuine resilience. The mental framework through which you view difficulties can either trap you in a cycle of helplessness and despair, or conversely unlock your extraordinary potential to overcome, learn, and ultimately flourish beyond anything you might have imagined. This chapter is dedicated to initiating a fundamental, transformative shift in that mental operating system, moving consciously and decisively from what is often termed a victim mindset to a robust and empowering victor mindset. To truly grasp this concept, let us delve into the two primary mindsets extensively studied in psychological research: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. These terms were popularized by Dr. Carol Dweck, a leading researcher in the field. Imagine two individuals, John and Mary, both facing a new, difficult, and potentially intimidating task, perhaps learning a complex new software program at work. John, operating primarily with a fixed mindset, believes his core abilities, his intelligence, and even his personality traits are largely set in stone, unchangeable. He thinks to himself, "I am either naturally good at learning technical things, or I am not." If he encounters a significant struggle or makes a mistake during the learning process, his internal monologue might immediately jump to conclusions like, "I'm just not smart enough for this," or "I'm not cut out for this kind of work." For John, a challenge that results in difficulty or perceived failure is direct proof of his inherent limitations. To protect his ego and avoid the uncomfortable feeling of inadequacy, he might be hesitant to try new, difficult tasks in the future, or he might give up quickly when faced with obstacles. When adversity strikes, this fixed mindset often leads to feelings of helplessness, a tendency to blame external factors. The software is too complicated, the training was insufficient, or an inward focus on his own perceived inherent flaws. This is precisely the fertile ground from which a victim mindset grows. Mary, on the other hand, operates predominantly with a growth mindset. She believes that her abilities, her intelligence, and her skills are not fixed, but can be developed and enhanced through consistent dedication, effort, and learning. When she approaches the new software, she thinks, "I might not understand this completely yet, but I am capable of learning and improving." If she struggles or makes mistakes, she views them not as evidence of her inadequacy, but as invaluable feedback. She might think, "That didn't work. What can I try differently? What specific part do I need to understand better? Who can I ask for help?" For Mary, challenges are exciting puzzles to solve, and mistakes are simply essential steps in the learning process. She embraces difficulty because she understands that effort and perseverance are the direct pathways to mastery and growth. This perspective is the very foundation of the victor mindset. When adversity inevitably strikes, Mary's immediate internal question is not "Why me? This isn't fair," but rather, "What can I learn from this experience? How can I adapt and apply this lesson moving forward?" The distinction between these two mindsets is profound, and it dramatically impacts one's capacity for resilience. This fundamental mindset shift is incredibly powerful when it comes to navigating adversity and building resilience. If your primary belief is that adversity is something that happens to you, leaving you powerless and helpless in its wake, then you are operating within a victim mindset. In this state, you might feel overwhelmed by the unfairness of life, consumed by self-pity, or paralyzed by the belief that you lack the ability to change your circumstances. While these feelings are natural and valid initial responses to difficulty, remaining stuck in them actively prevents healing, growth, and forward movement. However, by adopting a victor mindset, you consciously recognize that while you cannot always control the external events that unfold, you always retain the profound power of choice in how you respond to those events. This is not about denying your pain or pretending that everything is perfectly fine. It is about understanding that your chosen response, your internal attitude, and your subsequent actions hold the absolute key to your path forward, regardless of the severity of the challenge. Consider a universally relatable, yet deeply impactful example: the experience of job loss. Someone deeply entrenched in a victim mindset might react with thoughts like, "My career is utterly ruined. I am a complete failure. This company unfairly targeted me, and now I'll never find anything decent again. They might spiral into prolonged self-pity, feeling stuck, hopeless, and utterly unable to envision a positive path forward. Their energy is consumed by rumination and blame. Conversely, someone operating with a victim mindset, while certainly acknowledging the legitimate pain, disappointment, and financial stress associated with job loss, would approach the situation differently. Their internal monologue might be, "This is undoubtedly a difficult setback, and I feel the disappointment, but it also presents an unexpected opportunity to re-evaluate my career path and explore new possibilities. What valuable skills have I gained from this experience? What new types of roles or industries can I now explore? What can I create from this disruption?" This individual proactively updates their resume, networks with renewed vigor, seeks out new learning opportunities, and explores different career avenues they might never have considered if they had remained in their previous role. The external event, the job loss, is identical for both individuals, but their chosen mindset dramatically shapes their experience, their actions, and ultimately, their trajectory. One of the most profound and often cited illustrations of this principle comes from the work of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. In his seminal book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl describes his experiences in Nazi concentration camps. He observed that even in the most unimaginably horrific and dehumanizing circumstances, some individuals managed to find meaning, maintain a sense of purpose, and cling to a shred of hope, while others tragically succumbed to despair and apathy. Frankl concluded that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. This powerful insight does not in any way diminish the unspeakable suffering of such experiences, but it profoundly underscores the astonishing power of the human spirit to choose its internal response, even when external circumstances are entirely beyond control. You might not choose the difficult challenge that life presents, but you always have the profound freedom to choose how you react to it, how you interpret it, and what meaning you assign to it. So, how do you actively cultivate this powerful shift from a victim mindset to a victor mindset? It begins, as all growth does, with acute self-awareness. Start by becoming a diligent observer of your own internal monologue, especially when something unexpected, frustrating, or genuinely difficult occurs. Pay close attention to the words you use in your thoughts. Do you immediately jump to negative conclusions? Do you tend to catastrophize, imagining the worst possible outcome? Do you excessively blame others for your circumstances, or do you engage in relentless self-blame? Do you use absolute limiting words like always or never when describing your capabilities or the situation? I always mess things up. Things never work out for me. These types of thought patterns are strong indicators of a fixed or victim mindset at play. The next crucial step is to consciously challenge those thoughts. When a negative or limiting thought arises, do not simply accept it as absolute truth. Instead, gently question it. Ask yourself, is this thought truly a fact, an objective reality, or is it merely my interpretation or assumption about the situation? What is an alternative way to look at this circumstance? Could there be another perspective I am not considering? For example, instead of allowing the thought, "I'm such a complete failure to dominate," consciously reframe it to, "I learned something incredibly important from this experience, and that knowledge will help me next time." Instead of declaring, "This is utterly impossible," try shifting your internal dialogue to, "This is incredibly difficult, and I don't see the full solution yet, but what is one tiny, manageable step I can take right now?" This active process of reframing is about consciously choosing a different lens through which to view your reality. It is a mental exercise that takes consistent practice, but with repetition, it gradually becomes more natural and automatic. Another profoundly empowering technique is to consciously shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can control. Adversity often brings with it an overwhelming sense of powerlessness, as if external forces are dictating your entire existence. By intentionally directing your attention and energy toward the aspects of the situation that are firmly within your sphere of influence, your attitude, your effort, your specific actions, your choices, your internal responses, you actively reclaim your power. You transform from a passive recipient of external forces into an active agent of change within your own life. This deliberate shift in focus immediately empowers you and injects a sense of agency, replacing helplessness with a feeling of purposeful direction. Finally, embrace the incredibly simple yet profoundly potent word, yet. This tiny word holds immense power in cultivating a growth mindset. When you find yourself thinking or saying, "I can't do this," add "yet" to the end. I can't do this yet. When you feel inadequate, think, "I haven't figured this out yet," or "I don't feel strong enough yet." This small addition transforms a seemingly fixed limitation into a temporary state that is open to learning, development, and evolution. It shifts your perspective from an absolute barrier to a current challenge that can be overcome with time, effort, and continued learning. Your mindset is your single greatest asset in the lifelong process of developing built resilience. It is the fundamental filter through which all of life's experiences, both joyful and challenging, pass. By consciously choosing to cultivate a growth-oriented victor mindset, you empower yourself to face any challenge, not as an insurmountable ending, but as a crucial stepping stone on your path to greater wisdom, strength, and fulfillment. You unlock your innate capacity to learn, to adapt, to innovate, and to transform. Remember, you are not defined by what happens to you. You are profoundly defined by how you choose to respond to what happens to you. And that transformative choice is entirely, unequivocally yours to make. Chapter 4. Mastering Your Emotions, the Inner Thermostat. Imagine your body as a highly sophisticated machine, constantly receiving signals from its environment. Emotions are those signals. They are not random occurrences. They are powerful, built-in responses designed to inform you, to protect you, and to motivate you. Yet, for many of us, emotions can feel overwhelming, chaotic, or even like something to be avoided at all costs. We might learn to push uncomfortable feelings down, to ignore them, or to pretend they do not exist. But just like a warning light on your car dashboard, ignoring these signals does not make the underlying issue disappear. In fact, consistently suppressing your emotions can have significant negative consequences, draining your energy, contributing to stress, and even manifesting as physical discomfort or illness. This chapter is about learning to understand and skillfully manage your inner emotional thermostat, so you can respond to life's fluctuations with greater control and composure. When we talk about mastering emotions, we are not suggesting you stop feeling them altogether. That is impossible and unhealthy. Human beings are wired for a full spectrum of emotions, from joy and excitement to sadness, anger, and fear. Each emotion serves a purpose. Fear, for instance, warns you of danger. Anger can signal a boundary has been crossed or an injustice has occurred. Sadness helps you process loss. The goal is not to eliminate these feelings, but to become aware of them, understand their messages, and then choose how you respond, rather than being swept away by them. This is about regulating their intensity and impact, much like adjusting a thermostat to keep a room at a comfortable temperature rather than letting it become stiflingly hot or freezing cold. The act of suppressing emotions, trying to push them away or intellectualize them, actually takes a tremendous amount of mental and physical energy. Research has shown that emotional suppression can lead to increased stress hormones like cortisol, elevated heart rates, and even impaired memory. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who habitually suppress their emotions experience more negative emotions overall and less positive emotions. They also tend to have poorer relationships. This is because when you try to numb one feeling, you often numb them all. You lose touch with your inner world, which makes it harder to connect with yourself and with others authentically. So how do you begin to master your emotions without suppressing them? It starts with acknowledging what you are feeling. One powerful, simple technique is called name it to tame it. This concept, often highlighted by neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Lieberman from UCLA, suggests that simply putting a name to your emotion can calm your brain's amygdala, the part responsible for processing fear and other strong emotions. When you feel a surge of anger, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and quietly say to yourself, "I am feeling anger right now," or "This is frustration," or "I notice a wave of sadness." Just by labeling the emotion, you engage the prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, which helps to create a little distance from the raw emotion and reduces its intensity. It shifts you from being caught in the emotion to observing the emotion. Another powerful way to connect with your emotions, rather than avoiding them, is through a brief body scan or mindful awareness practice. Emotions are not just mental states, they manifest physically in your body. When you feel anxiety, where do you notice it? Perhaps a tightening in your chest, butterflies in your stomach, or tension in your shoulders. When you feel anger, maybe your jaw clenches or your muscles tense. Take a moment to pause. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Bring your attention to your breath for a few cycles. Then gently scan your body from head to toe, noticing any sensations without judgment. Where do you feel the emotion physically? Just observe it. This practice helps you become more attuned to your inner landscape, allowing you to catch emotions earlier before they overwhelm you. It is about befriending your body's signals, not fighting them. Once you have identified an emotion, the next crucial step is to create the pause. This is the space between feeling an emotion and reacting to it. Most of our unhelpful emotional responses happen when we react impulsively. The pause allows you to choose your response. One of the most effective ways to create this pause is through controlled breathing. When you are stressed or emotional, your breathing tends to become shallow and fast. Deep, deliberate breathing sends signals to your nervous system that you are safe, activating your parasympathetic rest and digest system. A simple technique is the 4-7-8 method. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 7, and then exhale completely through your mouth with a whoosh sound for a count of 8. Repeat this 4 times, or try box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Even just 3 or 4 cycles can dramatically shift your physiological state and give you back control. After acknowledging and giving yourself space, consider healthy ways to express or release the emotion. This is where active coping comes in. If you are feeling overwhelmed, talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can be incredibly cathartic and offer new perspectives. Journaling is another powerful tool. Writing down your thoughts and feelings without judgment or editing allows you to externalize them, see them more clearly, and process them in a safe space. It is like having a conversation with yourself, helping you to untangle complex emotional knots. For some emotions, particularly anger or frustration, physical activity can be a healthy release. Going for a brisk walk, a run, or engaging in any form of exercise allows your body to discharge built-up energy in a constructive way. Crying is also a natural and healthy release for sadness and grief. It is your body's way of releasing stress hormones and allowing emotional processing. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, cultivate self-compassion when you're experiencing difficult emotions. It is incredibly easy to judge ourselves for feeling bad emotions, to think we shouldn't be sad or angry. But as Dr. Kristin Neff, a leading researcher in self-compassion, emphasizes, self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance you would offer to a dear friend who is suffering. When you're feeling emotional, instead of criticizing yourself, try offering words of comfort. It's okay to feel this way. This is a difficult moment. I am here for myself. This compassionate stance reduces the secondary suffering that comes from judging your own emotions and allows for faster healing and resilience building. Mastering your emotions is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally intelligent. It is about understanding that your feelings are vital messengers, and you have the power to listen to them, learn from them, and then choose how to respond in a way that serves your well-being. This skill builds a profound inner strength, allowing you to navigate life's inevitable emotional waves with greater calm, clarity, and control. You have more control over your inner world than you might currently believe. By practicing these techniques, you empower yourself to be the thermostat, not just the temperature gauge, in your own life. This is true emotional mastery. Chapter 5. Building your mental fortitude, challenging your thoughts. In Chapter 3, we explored the foundational power of your mindset, shifting from a victim to a victor perspective. Now, we are going to go even deeper into the mechanics of your mind, specifically focusing on your thoughts. While your mindset is the overarching framework, your individual thoughts are the constant streams of internal dialogue, interpretations, and judgments that flow through your awareness every moment of every day. And here is a crucial truth. Your thoughts are not always facts. They are often just interpretations, assumptions, or fleeting ideas that your brain generates. Learning to identify, question, and ultimately challenge unhelpful or distorted thought patterns is a cornerstone of building unshakable mental fortitude and truly developing your built resilience. Consider this. Two people experience the exact same setback, let us say. A project they poured hours into gets rejected. One person might immediately think, I am a total failure. I'll never succeed at anything. The other might think, this is disappointing, but what can I learn from this feedback to make my next project even stronger? The external event is identical, but the internal thought creates two vastly different emotional experiences and potential outcomes. Your thoughts directly influence your feelings, which then influence your actions. If your thoughts are consistently negative or distorted, your feelings will follow suit, leading to unhelpful behaviors and eroding your resilience. Often, our minds fall into what psychologists call cognitive distortions, systematic errors in thinking that can lead to negative emotional states. These are not signs of weakness or mental deficiency. They are common traps our brains can fall into, especially when under stress. The good news is that once you can recognize these patterns, you can actively dispute them. Let us look at some common ones, explained in simple terms, so you can catch them in action within your own mind. First, there is catastrophizing. This is when you assume the absolute worst possible outcome will happen, even when it is unlikely. For example, your friend does not reply to your text, and you immediately think, they must be furious with me, our friendship is over, and I'll be alone forever. This turns a minor delay into a full-blown disaster. Second, we have all or nothing thinking, also known as black and white thinking. You see things in extremes with no middle ground. If something is not perfect, it is a complete failure. If you are not completely successful, you are a total loser. For instance, you go on a diet, eat one cookie, and instantly think, well, I blew my diet completely, so I might as well eat the whole box. This prevents you from seeing progress or incremental improvements. Third is overgeneralization. You take a single negative event and apply it to everything, concluding that it will always happen. You have a bad job interview, and you conclude, I'm terrible at interviews, I'll never get a job. One isolated incident is blown out of proportion to predict a constant string of failures. Fourth, Personalization. This is when you take everything personally, even if it has nothing to do with you. Your colleague seems quiet, and you think, they must be upset with me. Or there is a general office policy change, and you immediately think it was enacted specifically to make your life harder. Fifth, the mental filter. You pick out a single negative detail and dwell on it exclusively, allowing it to color your entire perception of a situation, ignoring any positive aspects. You receive 5 positive comments on your presentation, but 1 negative one, and all you can think about is the negative feedback. The positive aspects are filtered out. These thought patterns are often automatic, running in the background of your mind, but you have the power to interrupt them. The process of building mental fortitude through challenging your thoughts can be broken down into 3 simple steps, borrowed from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT principles, but made easy to apply. Catch it. The very first step is to become aware of the unhelpful thought as it happens. This builds on the self-awareness we discussed in Chapter 2. When you feel a surge of negative emotion, anxiety, sadness, anger, pause. Ask yourself, what thought just ran through my mind? Write it down if you can. For example, I just thought, I'm going to mess this up, just like everything else. Check it. Once you have caught the thought, put it on trial. Is it absolutely true? Is there solid evidence to support it? Or is there evidence against it? This is about questioning its validity. Evidence for, against. What specific facts support this thought? What specific facts contradict it? Often, there is surprisingly little concrete evidence for deeply negative thoughts. Alternative explanations. Is there another way to interpret this situation? Could there be another reason for what happened that has nothing to do with my initial negative thought? For example, your friend did not reply because they were busy, not because they are furious. Perspective shift. How would a wise, compassionate friend view this situation? How important will this be in 5 years? Change it. If the thought does not stand up to scrutiny, or if it is unhelpful even if partially true, consciously reframe or replace it with a more balanced, realistic, and helpful thought. This is not about positive affirmations that feel fake, but about finding a more truthful and constructive perspective. Instead of catastrophizing, my friend didn't reply because they are furious. Change to, my friend might be busy or they haven't seen the message yet. I'll check in later. Instead of all or nothing, I ate 1 cookie, so my diet is ruined. Change to, I had a cookie, but that's 1 small misstep. I can get back on track with my next meal. Instead of overgeneralization, I failed that interview, so I'll never get a job. Change to, that interview didn't go as planned. I'll review what I could improve and apply for other jobs. Instead of personalization, my colleague is quiet, they must be mad at me. Change to, my colleague might just be having a quiet day or thinking deeply about something unrelated. Instead of mental filter, my presentation got 1 negative comment, so it was a disaster. Change to, the presentation had many positive elements, and there's one area I can focus on improving. This process of catch it, check it, change it is often facilitated by a simple practice sometimes called a thought record or thought journal. You do not need anything fancy, just a notebook. Divide a page into columns: situation, automatic thought, emotion, evidence for, evidence against, alternative thought, outcome. Regularly filling this out, especially when you are feeling stressed or upset, helps you externalize your thoughts and practice the challenge process. It shows you the patterns. Another powerful technique is called cognitive diffusion. This is about detaching from your thoughts, recognizing them as mental events rather than absolute truths. Instead of saying, I am a failure, try saying, I am having the thought that I am a failure. This simple linguistic shift creates a crucial space between you and your thought, reducing its power over you. It is like watching a cloud pass in the sky. You observe it without becoming the cloud. Building mental fortitude is about becoming the editor of your own internal narrative. Your brain is a powerful thought-generating machine, and it will churn out all sorts of ideas, some helpful, some not. By learning to critically evaluate these thoughts, you become the boss of your mind, rather than being controlled by its automatic reactions. This practice significantly enhances your ability to face adversity because it prevents negative thought spirals from dragging you down and empowers you to choose a more resilient, constructive perspective. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing a reality that empowers you to act effectively. Your brain can be rewired, and you are the one holding the tools to do it. Chapter 6. The Power of Purpose. Your unshakable why. In times of calm, it is easy to drift through life, making decisions based on convenience or immediate gratification. But when adversity strikes, when the ground beneath your feet feels shaky and the path ahead is obscured, what keeps you going? What gives you the strength to persist, to find meaning in struggle, and to bounce forward? The answer for many lies in the profound power of purpose. Having a clear, deeply held why acts as an anchor in the storm, a guiding star in the darkness, and an unwavering source of motivation when everything else feels uncertain. This chapter is about understanding the incredible link between purpose and resilience and providing you with actionable steps to discover or deepen your own unshakable why. What exactly is purpose? It is not necessarily a grand, world-changing mission, although it certainly can be. At its core, purpose is about having a sense of meaning, a reason for being, and a clear understanding of what you stand for and what truly matters to you. It is the underlying current that gives direction and significance to your actions, thoughts, and even your experiences of suffering. Your purpose can be as vast as contributing to a global cause, or as intimate as being a loving parent, mastering a craft, or living with integrity and kindness every single day. It is your unique answer to the question, what is my life fundamentally about? The link between purpose and resilience is well documented in psychological and even medical research. Studies have shown that individuals with a strong sense of purpose tend to live longer, healthier lives and cope more effectively with stress. For example, research published in the journal JAMA Psychiatry found that people with a high sense of purpose had a lower risk of mortality over a period of years. Other studies indicate that purpose can buffer the negative effects of stress, improve recovery from illness, and even reduce the risk of cognitive decline in later life. Why? Because when you have a strong why, you are less likely to be derailed by the what. You see challenges not as roadblocks, but as necessary detours or learning opportunities on the way to something bigger than yourself. Purpose provides several critical components for resilience. First, it offers direction. When you know your overarching aim, difficult choices become clearer. Should you give up on a project? If it aligns with your purpose, you might find the resolve to push through. Second, it provides powerful motivation. When you are connected to something bigger than your immediate discomfort, you tap into a deeper wellspring of energy. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. Their purpose of competing and achieving their best helps them endure grueling workouts and setbacks. Third, purpose offers perspective. In the face of adversity, it is easy to get caught up in the immediate pain and lose sight of the bigger picture. Your purpose lifts your gaze, reminding you of what truly matters and helping you to reframe suffering within a broader context of growth and meaning. Even in the deepest sorrow, finding meaning can transform suffering into something endurable, something that shapes you rather than breaks you. So, how do you find or deepen your unshakable why? It is not about waiting for a sudden epiphany. It is often a process of self-reflection and exploration. Here are some actionable steps. Identify your core values. What truly matters to you at your deepest level? These are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and define who you are. Think about moments when you felt most alive, most authentic, most fulfilled. What values were being expressed in those moments? Common values include honesty, integrity, compassion, creativity, connection, courage, growth, service, achievement, joy, or freedom. Make a list of 5 to 7 values that resonate most strongly with you. For instance, if connection is a core value, your purpose might involve fostering strong relationships or building community. If growth is key, your purpose might be about continuous learning and personal evolution. Reflect on your desired impact. How do you want to contribute to the world, to your community, or to the lives of those around you? This does not mean you have to be a world leader. Your impact could be raising empathetic children, excelling in your chosen profession to help others, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or simply being a source of kindness and support to your friends and family. Ask yourself, if I look back on my life, what do I want to have stood for? What positive difference do I want to have made, however small or large? Connect purpose to action. The how. Once you have a clearer sense of your values and desired impact, start thinking about how they can guide your daily decisions and actions. Purpose is not just a lofty idea, it is a lived experience. If your purpose involves service, how can you incorporate small acts of service into your week? If it is about creativity, how can you dedicate time to your creative pursuits, even if it is just a few minutes a day? Purpose provides a filter. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does this choice align with my purpose and values? This helps you make decisions that reinforce your why rather than detract from it. Craft a simple personal mission statement. This is not a corporate jargon-filled statement, but a short guiding phrase or sentence that encapsulates your purpose. It should be concise, inspiring, and easy to remember. For example, to live with integrity and inspire others through creativity, or to foster deep connections and contribute positively to my community. This statement acts as a compass, especially when you feel lost or overwhelmed. Write it down and keep it somewhere visible. Visualize your why regularly. To keep your purpose front of mind, integrate it into your daily routine. Spend a few minutes each morning visualizing what it looks like to live purposefully. Imagine yourself acting in alignment with your values, making the impact you desire. This visualization helps to reinforce the neurological pathways associated with your purpose, making it a more ingrained part of your identity and decision-making process. Find meaning in adversity. Perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of purpose is its ability to help you reframe suffering. When you encounter a painful experience, ask yourself, how can this challenge serve my purpose? Or, what can I learn from this that will help me better fulfill my why? A health crisis, for instance, might deepen your purpose to appreciate life, to connect more genuinely with loved ones, or to advocate for others. Losing a job might clarify your true professional calling. This does not make the pain disappear, but it imbues it with meaning, transforming a potentially destructive event into a powerful catalyst for growth. As Viktor Frankl famously said, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." Your unshakable why is your internal fuel, the light that guides you through the darkest moments. It provides a deeper context for your struggles, turning them into opportunities for profound personal development. When you are connected to something meaningful, something that transcends your immediate circumstances, you tap into a wellspring of inner strength that adversity simply cannot diminish. Cultivating this sense of purpose is not just about coping, it is about thriving, about living a life that is rich, meaningful, and resilient, no matter what challenges you face. Your purpose is already waiting to be discovered or deepened within you. Chapter 7. Cultivating strong connections, your resilience network. Human beings are inherently social creatures. From the earliest days of our existence, survival and thriving have depended on our ability to form bonds, cooperate, and support one another. In our modern, often individualistic world, we sometimes forget or undervalue this fundamental truth. Yet, when faced with adversity, whether it is a personal crisis, professional setback, or broader societal challenge, one of the most powerful buffers against despair and one of the strongest accelerators of resilience is a robust network of social support. This chapter is about understanding the critical role of strong connections in building your resilience and providing practical, actionable steps to cultivate and nurture your own resilience network. Think about a time you went through something difficult. Who did you turn to? Whose presence or words made a difference? Perhaps it was a family member who listened without judgment, a friend who offered practical help, a colleague who shared their own similar experience, or a mentor who provided wise counsel. These individuals form your resilience network. They are the people who offer emotional support, practical assistance, shared perspective, and a sense of belonging when you need it most. Research consistently demonstrates the profound impact of social support on well-being and resilience. Studies from fields like public health and psychology have shown that individuals with strong social ties tend to live longer, experience less depression and anxiety, and recover more effectively from illness and trauma. For example, a landmark meta-analysis published in PLOS Medicine, synthesizing data from 148 studies, concluded that strong social relationships increase the likelihood of survival by 50%, a factor comparable to quitting smoking and greater than exercising or losing weight. This is not just about feeling good. It is about tangible, measurable benefits to your health and longevity. Why are strong connections so crucial for resilience? First, emotional regulation. When you share your burdens with a trusted person, it helps to externalize and process difficult emotions, preventing them from festering internally. A simple conversation can reduce feelings of isolation and shame, providing validation and a sense that you are not alone in your struggle. This is the opposite of emotional suppression we discussed in Chapter 4. It is healthy emotional release. Second, perspective and problem solving. Others can offer fresh viewpoints, identify solutions you might have overlooked, or help you brainstorm new approaches to a problem. Sometimes, just articulating your problem out loud to another person helps you gain clarity and see a way forward. They can also remind you of your strengths when you have forgotten them. Third, practical support. During tough times, practical needs often arise. This could be anything from help with childcare, a ride to an appointment, a meal delivered, or even just someone to run errands. Knowing you have people who can offer concrete assistance reduces stress and allows you to focus your energy on healing or problem solving. Fourth, sense of belonging and purpose. Being connected to others fulfills a fundamental human need for belonging. It reminds you that you are part of something larger than yourself, which can imbue your life with greater meaning and purpose, especially when your individual circumstances feel overwhelming. Fifth, accountability and motivation. Your network can hold you gently accountable, encouraging you to take steps toward recovery or growth, even when you feel resistant. Their belief in you can be a powerful source of motivation. So, how do you actively cultivate and strengthen your resilience network? It is not about accumulating hundreds of superficial connections on social media. It is about nurturing genuine, meaningful relationships. Identify your existing circles. Start by mapping out your current connections. Who are the people in your life right now who genuinely care about you? This includes family members, close friends, colleagues, neighbors, mentors, spiritual community members, or even specific online groups where you feel a sense of belonging. Do not judge the size of your network. Focus on the quality of the connections. You do not need a huge number of people. A few deep, trusting relationships are far more valuable than many superficial ones. Nurture existing relationships. Resilience is built on reciprocity. These relationships are not one-sided. To receive support, you must also offer it. Make time for the people who matter to you. Schedule regular calls, coffee dates, or visits. Listen actively when they share their struggles. Offer help when they need it. Send a thoughtful text or card. Small, consistent gestures of care and appreciation strengthen bonds over time. This consistent investment is like watering the plants in your garden. It keeps them healthy and vibrant. Be vulnerable and ask for help. This is often the hardest step for many. There is a common misconception that asking for help is a sign of weakness. In reality, it is a profound act of courage and strength. It shows you trust others, and it allows them the gift of being able to support someone they care about. When you are struggling, reach out. Be specific about what you need, whether it is an ear to listen, a distraction, practical assistance, or just company. Practice saying, "I'm having a tough time with X, and I could really use your advice, not support, just someone to talk to." A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people consistently underestimate how willing others are to help and often fail to ask, thereby missing out on valuable support. Offer help and support to others. As mentioned, reciprocity is key. Be the kind of friend, family member, or colleague you would want to have in your own time of need. Check in on others, listen empathetically, and offer practical or emotional support when you see them struggling. Being a source of support for others not only strengthens your relationships, but also cultivates your own sense of purpose and competence, which are powerful resilience boosters themselves. It provides a reminder that you are capable and valuable. Seek out new connections, especially during transitions. Life changes, like moving to a new city, starting a new job, or experiencing a major life event, can sometimes disrupt existing networks. Be proactive in seeking out new connections. Join clubs, volunteer organizations, professional groups, or classes that align with your interests. Attend community events. Be open to meeting new people. These fresh connections can bring new perspectives and expand your support system. Remember, new friends are just old friends you haven't met yet. Recognize different kinds of support. Not every person in your network provides the same kind of support. You might have one friend who is a great listener, another who offers practical advice, and a family member who provides unwavering emotional comfort. Value these different roles. Do not expect one person to be everything for you. Learn to identify who can offer what you need in a particular moment. Building a strong resilience network is not a passive activity. It requires conscious effort and ongoing investment. But the returns are immeasurable. When you know you have people who care about you, who will stand by you, and who you can turn to, you face adversity with a much greater sense of security and strength. Your connections become a vital protective shield and a powerful source of healing and growth. You are not meant to face life's challenges alone. Embrace the power of your community and let your relationships be a testament to your built resilience. Chapter 8. Fueling your body, fortifying your mind, the physical pillars. In our pursuit of mental and emotional resilience, it is incredibly easy to overlook a fundamental truth. Your mind does not exist in a vacuum. It is intricately connected to and profoundly influenced by the physical health of your body. Think of your body as the vessel that carries your brain, your emotions, and your capacity to cope. If the vessel is neglected, running on fumes, or riddled with issues, it significantly compromises your ability to navigate the choppy waters of adversity. Building true, sustainable resilience is not just about mental gymnastics. It is about creating a strong, healthy foundation for your entire being. This chapter will delve into the critical link between your physical well-being and your mental fortitude, offering simple, actionable strategies to fuel your body and, in turn, fortify your mind. The scientific evidence for the mind-body connection is overwhelming and consistently growing. For instance, studies show that chronic sleep deprivation severely impairs cognitive function, emotional regulation, and stress management. Poor nutrition can lead to energy crashes, mood swings, and inflammation that affects brain health. A sedentary lifestyle is linked to higher rates of anxiety and depression. Conversely, prioritizing physical health enhances your brain's ability to cope with stress, improves your mood, boosts your energy levels, and even strengthens your immune system, making you more robust in every sense of the word. A meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that physical activity is a highly effective intervention for depression and anxiety, even comparable to psychotherapy and medication in some cases. This is not merely anecdotal. It is a well-established fact. A healthy body supports a resilient mind. There are three primary physical pillars that are absolutely crucial for building and maintaining robust resilience: adequate sleep, balanced nutrition, and regular movement. Let us break each one down with practical steps. Adequate sleep, your brain's recharge station. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity, especially for emotional regulation and cognitive function. During sleep, your brain literally cleanses itself, processes emotions, consolidates memories, and repairs itself. Chronic sleep deprivation, getting less than 7 to 9 hours for most adults, significantly impairs your ability to handle stress, makes you more emotionally reactive, reduces your problem-solving skills, and weakens your immune system. Actionable steps: prioritize a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, circadian rhythm. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. About an hour before bed, wind down. This could involve reading a physical book, taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or gentle stretching. Avoid screens, phones, tablets, computers for at least an hour before sleep, as blue light disrupts melatonin production. Optimize your sleep environment. Make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Blackout curtains, earplugs, or a white noise machine can be helpful. Watch caffeine and alcohol intake. Limit caffeine in the afternoon and evening. While alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it disrupts sleep quality later in the night. Balanced nutrition, fueling your cognitive engine. What you eat directly impacts your brain chemistry, energy levels, and mood. Think of your brain as a high-performance engine. It needs the right kind of fuel to operate optimally. A diet rich in processed food, sugar, and unhealthy fats can lead to inflammation and blood sugar crashes that negatively affect mood and cognitive function. Actionable steps: focus on whole foods, emphasize fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats, like those found in avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These provide sustained energy and essential nutrients for brain health. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can cause fatigue, headaches, and reduce cognitive clarity. Aim to drink plenty of water throughout the day. Limit processed foods and sugar. These can lead to energy spikes and crashes, contributing to irritability and difficulty concentrating. Consider omega-3s. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, and walnuts are vital for brain health and have been linked to improved mood and reduced inflammation. Regular movement, moving your way to mental clarity. Physical activity is not just for your body. It is a powerful tool for your mind. Exercise reduces stress hormones like cortisol, releases endorphins, natural mood elevators, improves blood flow to the brain, and can even stimulate the growth of new brain cells. It is a natural antidote to anxiety and a powerful booster for mood and cognitive function. You do not need to be an Olympic athlete. Consistency and enjoyment are key. Actionable steps: find activities you enjoy. If you hate running, do not run. Explore walking, dancing, cycling, swimming, yoga, hiking, team sports, or gardening. The key is to find something you genuinely look forward to, making it sustainable. Aim for consistency, not perfection. Even short bursts of activity are beneficial. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days of the week. But if you can only manage 10 to 15 minutes, that is still valuable. Start small and build up. Incorporate movement breaks. If you have a sedentary job, stand up and stretch, walk around, or do a few squats every hour. These micro breaks can significantly impact your energy and focus. Exercise. Outdoors. Combining physical activity with time in nature can amplify the benefits, reducing stress and improving mood even further. Think of these physical pillars as non-negotiable foundations for your resilience. Just as a skyscraper needs a strong foundation to withstand an earthquake, your mind needs a well-cared-for body to weather life's storms. Neglecting your physical health is like constantly trying to run a marathon on an empty tank with flat tires. It makes every challenge feel exponentially harder. By making conscious, consistent choices to prioritize your sleep, nutrition, and movement, you are not just taking care of your body. You are actively fortifying your mind, boosting your energy, stabilizing your mood, and building the physical stamina required to develop built resilience and thrive through any adversity that comes your way. This commitment to your physical well-being is an empowering act of self-care, directly fueling your capacity for mental and emotional strength. Chapter 9. Action over anxiety. The art of strategic problem solving. When adversity strikes, it often brings with it a powerful companion: anxiety. Our minds, designed to anticipate threats, can quickly get caught in a loop of worry, replaying worst-case scenarios and feeling overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the problem. This state of perpetual worry, while seemingly productive because you are thinking about the problem, is actually incredibly draining and paralyzing. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and inaction, preventing you from taking the very steps that could alleviate your stress and move you forward. This chapter is about shifting from anxiety-driven rumination to strategic, purposeful action. It is about equipping you with the tools to break down daunting problems, make effective decisions, and discover the empowering truth that action, even small steps, is often the most potent antidote to anxiety. Think about a time you had a huge task or problem looming over you. Perhaps it was a massive work project, a significant financial challenge, or a complex family issue. Did you find yourself spending hours, days, or even weeks just thinking about it, worrying about it, feeling the weight of it, without actually taking concrete steps? This is the trap of analysis paralysis, where the sheer perceived size of the problem makes it feel impossible to start. Your brain, in an attempt to protect you from failure or overwhelm, can convince you that it is safer to stay in the realm of worry rather than risk action. But here is the critical insight. Worry is not problem solving. Worry is the mind running in circles without a destination. True problem solving is a linear progression towards a solution. The key principle here is this: action reduces anxiety. When you take even a tiny, deliberate step forward, your brain registers progress. This sense of progress activates reward pathways in your brain, releasing neurochemicals that reduce stress and increase feelings of competence and control. This is backed by neuroscience. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and decision-making, becomes more active when you engage in goal-directed behavior, helping to quiet the amygdala, the brain's fear center. So how do you move from the paralyzing state of analysis paralysis to empowering strategic action? It starts with breaking the problem down. Define the problem clearly and specifically. Often problems feel overwhelming because they are vaguely defined. "I need to fix my life" is an overwhelming statement. "I need to find a new job that aligns with my values within the next 6 months to improve my financial stability and sense of purpose" is a much clearer, more actionable definition. Actionable step. Write down the problem. Be as specific as possible. What exactly is the challenge you are facing? Avoid generalizations. Focus on the core issue. Break it down into manageable chunks. This is perhaps the most crucial step. A large, daunting problem can be compared to eating an elephant. You can only do it one bite at a time. Breaking a big problem into smaller, sequential steps makes it less intimidating and more achievable. This also creates a series of small wins, which build momentum and confidence. Actionable step. Once you have defined the problem, brainstorm all the individual actions or sub-problems that contribute to it. List them out, then organize them into a logical sequence. For example, if the problem is find a new job, the chunks might be update resume, research target companies, network with contacts, practice interview skills, apply to X jobs per week. Each chunk is a mini goal. Prioritize and identify the first step. Once you have a list of smaller steps, you might still feel overwhelmed by the number of items. This is where prioritization comes in. What is the single most important action you can take right now? What is the very first step that will create momentum? It should be something small, concrete, and achievable within a short time frame, e.g., 15 to 30 minutes. Actionable step. From your list of chunks, circle or highlight the one action that has to happen first, or the one that feels easiest to get started with. This is your immediate task. For example, if update resume is a chunk, the first step might be find 3 example resumes online to get ideas. Take that first small step, the 15-minute rule. This is where action truly begins. Do not wait for motivation to strike or for the perfect moment. Just commit to taking that single, small, identified first step. Tell yourself you only have to work on it for 15 minutes. Often, once you start, the momentum will carry you beyond that initial time frame. The act of starting is often the hardest part. Actionable step. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Focus only on that first step. When the timer goes off, you can choose to continue or you can stop, having already made progress. This technique bypasses your brain's resistance to overwhelming tasks. Focus on progress, not perfection. When you are solving a problem, especially a complex one, the path is rarely linear or perfect. There will be detours, setbacks, and moments of doubt. A resilient problem solver understands that perfection is the enemy of good. The goal is to make progress, to learn from mistakes, and to continuously adapt. Actionable step. Celebrate your small wins. Acknowledge every step forward, no matter how tiny it seems. Did you complete that 15-minute task? Great, that is progress. This positive reinforcement trains your brain to associate action with positive feelings, making future action easier. Do not let the pursuit of an ideal solution prevent you from implementing a good one. Utilize simple decision-making frameworks. Sometimes the problem is not knowing what to do next. Simple decision-making frameworks can provide clarity. Pros and cons list. For decisions with clear options, list the advantages and disadvantages of each. The what's the worst that could happen? Test. For anxieties about taking action, consider the actual worst-case scenario. Often, it is not as dire as your anxious mind suggests. Then ask, what is the likelihood of that happening? And, if it did happen, how would I cope? This helps to ground your fears in reality. Consult a trusted advisor. If you are truly stuck, talk to someone who has experience with similar problems. Their insights can be invaluable. This connects back to your resilience network from Chapter 7. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. When you are facing adversity, the overwhelming feeling often stems from looking at the entire mountain instead of focusing on the next foothold. By breaking down problems, taking consistent small actions, and celebrating your progress, you actively dismantle anxiety, build confidence, and cultivate a powerful sense of agency. This shift from passive worry to strategic action is a hallmark of built resilience. You are not a victim of your problems. You are a proactive problem solver, capable of navigating complexity and forging your path forward, one deliberate step at a time. The power to move yourself forward is within your hands, right now. Chapter 10. Embracing imperfection. learning from stumbles. In our modern world, there is an unspoken pressure to be perfect. We see curated images of success online, hear stories of seamless achievements, and often internalize the belief that stumbles, mistakes, and failures are something to be hidden, shamed, or avoided at all costs. This relentless pursuit of perfection, however, is not only unrealistic, but profoundly detrimental to building true resilience. Life is messy, unpredictable, and inherently imperfect. True resilience is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about how you respond to them. This chapter is about fundamentally reframing failure as a powerful learning opportunity, embracing your imperfections with self-compassion, and understanding that every stumble provides invaluable data for your next, stronger step forward. Think back to any significant skill you have mastered: learning to ride a bike, playing a musical instrument, excelling in a sport, or even just learning a complex new task at work. Did you achieve mastery without a single misstep? Absolutely not. You fell off the bike countless times. Your fingers fumbled on the instrument. You missed shots, dropped the ball, or made errors in your work. Each of those failures was not an endpoint, but a crucial piece of feedback, a data point that informed your next attempt. The child learning to walk falls an average of 17 times an hour in their early stages, yet they do not internalize these falls as failure and give up. They simply get back up and adjust. They learn. The common fear of failure often paralyzes us, keeping us in our comfort zones and preventing us from taking necessary risks or pursuing ambitious goals. This fear stems from a fixed mindset, as discussed in Chapter 3, that equates failure with personal inadequacy. But a resilient mindset, a growth mindset, understands that failure is simply feedback, an indicator that your current approach needs adjusting. It is a necessary part of the learning process, not a definitive verdict on your worth or capability. Research in learning and development consistently shows that learning from mistakes is far more impactful than simply succeeding. When we fail, our brains are more engaged, creating stronger neural pathways for memory and understanding what not to do next time. A study from MIT found that when individuals make errors, their brains react with a heightened error signal, which helps them learn and correct their behavior. This means failure is literally a biological mechanism for learning and growth. This brings us to a transformative concept: post-traumatic growth. While adversity can cause significant pain and even trauma, it can also paradoxically lead to profound positive psychological changes. Psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun identified 5 common areas of post-traumatic growth: greater appreciation for life, a renewed sense of gratitude for what one has, closer, more meaningful relationships, a deeper connection with others, often prioritizing relationships, increased personal strength, a discovery of capabilities not known before, a greater sense of possibilities, opening up to new paths and opportunities, spiritual development, a deeper sense of purpose or understanding of life's meaning. This means that even profound stumbles, when processed and learned from, can lead to a richer, more resilient, and more purposeful life. So, how do you actively embrace imperfection and learn from your stumbles? Reframe failure as feedback. Instead of saying, "I failed," try saying, "I learned," or "This approach didn't work." Shift the language from a personal judgment to an objective observation of results. Ask yourself, what exactly happened? Be factual, not emotional. What was my role in it? Take responsibility without self-blame. What specific lesson can I extract from this? What will I do differently next time? This turns a negative event into a constructive learning experience. Practice self-compassion. This is perhaps the most crucial antidote to the shame and self-criticism that often accompany mistakes. As introduced in Chapter 4, self-compassion, as championed by Dr. Kristin Neff, involves 3 components: Self-kindness, treating yourself with understanding and warmth rather than harsh judgment. Common humanity, recognizing that suffering, imperfection, and failure are universal human experiences. You are not alone in your struggles. Mindfulness, observing your pain and difficult emotions without exaggerating or suppressing them. When you stumble, instead of a harsh inner critic, offer yourself words of comfort. This is hard. I made a mistake, but I'm learning. Everyone makes mistakes. This kind, understanding approach reduces stress and helps you recover faster. Analyze, don't dwell. There is a fine line between reflecting on a mistake to learn from it and ruminating on it in a way that fuels self-blame and anxiety. Reflection is forward-looking. What's the lesson here? Ruminating is backward-looking and often unproductive. Why did I do that? I'm so stupid. Set a time limit for analysis. Extract the lesson, and then consciously shift your focus to the next step. Embrace the first attempt in learning. Fail. Mindset. This playful acronym reminds you that every failure is simply a first attempt in learning. It helps to lighten the emotional load and focus on the iterative process of growth. It is permission to try, knowing that perfection is not the expectation. Share your stumbles when appropriate. While you do not need to broadcast every mistake, selectively sharing your learning experiences with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can be incredibly liberating. It normalizes imperfection, strengthens your relationships because vulnerability fosters connection and often elicits valuable advice or empathy. It also builds your courage. Focus on effort and process, not just outcome. Resilience is built by consistently showing up, putting in the effort, and learning from the process, regardless of the immediate outcome. If you focus only on the end result, any deviation feels like failure. But if you value the effort, the learning, and the continuous improvement, then every attempt contributes to your growth, even if the desired outcome is not immediately achieved. Embracing imperfection is not about lowering your standards. It is about freeing yourself from the paralyzing fear of not meeting them. It is about understanding that true strength comes not from never falling, but from having the courage to fall, the wisdom to learn, and the resolve to get back up, wiser and stronger than before. Your stumbles are not signs of weakness. They are crucial components of your unique journey toward becoming a more resilient, compassionate, and capable individual. Give yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn deeply from every single one. This is the path to unshakable inner strength. Chapter 11. The Gratitude Advantage, Shifting Your Lens. In the midst of adversity, when life feels heavy and challenges loom large, it is remarkably easy for our minds to fixate on what is wrong, what is missing, or what has been lost. Our natural human tendency is often to zoom in on problems, a survival mechanism that helps us identify and fix threats. However, when this focus becomes constant, it can trap us in a cycle of negativity, anxiety, and despair, making it incredibly difficult to see any light or progress. This is where the profound power of gratitude comes in. Practicing gratitude is not about ignoring pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about intentionally shifting your lens, even for a few moments, to acknowledge and appreciate the good that still exists, no matter how small. This shift in perspective can rewire your brain for optimism, enhance your well-being, and provide a powerful boost to your overall resilience. What is gratitude? At its simplest, gratitude is the quality of being thankful. Readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. It is a feeling of appreciation, a sense of wonder, and sometimes even a feeling of reverence for life. It is not limited to grand gestures or massive blessings. It can be found in the warmth of a cup of coffee, the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunset, or the steady rhythm of your own breath. It is about consciously noticing and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, even amidst difficulty. The scientific evidence for the benefits of gratitude is extensive and compelling. Researchers like Dr. Robert Emmons and Dr. Michael McCullough have conducted groundbreaking studies on the impact of gratitude practices. Their research, and that of many others, has consistently shown that people who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of positive emotions like joy, optimism, and pleasure. They also report lower levels of negative emotions like envy, resentment, greed, and bitterness. Beyond emotions, gratitude has been linked to stronger relationships, improved physical health, including better sleep and fewer aches and pains, greater resilience to stress and trauma, and even increased generosity. For instance, in one study, participants who kept a weekly gratitude journal reported more positive emotions, felt more optimistic, and even experienced fewer physical symptoms than control groups. This is not just a feel-good exercise, it is a powerful intervention for well-being. Why does gratitude build resilience? Shifts focus. When you actively look for things to be grateful for, you interrupt the brain's natural tendency to focus on threats and problems. This conscious redirection of attention helps to break negative thought cycles and opens up space for more positive emotions. Buffers against negativity. Gratitude acts as a protective shield against difficult emotions. It does not eliminate sadness or anger, but it provides a counterbalancing force, preventing those emotions from completely overwhelming you. It helps you find pockets of light, even in the darkness. Enhances perspective. Practicing gratitude helps you appreciate what you have, rather than fixating on what you lack. This broader perspective can make problems seem less overwhelming and remind you of your resources and strengths. Strengthens relationships. Expressing gratitude to others strengthens your social bonds, as people appreciate being recognized and valued. As we discussed in Chapter 7, strong social connections are a critical component of resilience. Promotes optimism. Consistently acknowledging good things in your life naturally cultivates a more optimistic outlook, making you more hopeful about the future and more proactive in facing challenges. So, how do you cultivate a grateful mindset, especially when it feels like there is little to be grateful for? Here are simple, actionable steps to integrate gratitude into your daily life. The Daily Gratitude Journal, the 3 Good Things Practice. This is one of the most widely researched and effective gratitude interventions. Each day, either in the morning or before bed, write down 3 to 5 things you are genuinely grateful for. They do not have to be grand. It could be the sun shining, a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a colleague, my cat purring, a good night's sleep, or the quiet moment before the day begins. The key is to be specific and to really feel the gratitude for each item, even if just for a few seconds. Do this consistently for at least a week, and you will likely notice a significant shift. Gratitude walk. When you go for a walk, whether it is around your neighborhood, in a park, or even just around your house, consciously look for things to appreciate. Notice the trees, the sky, the architecture, the sound of birds, the feeling of your feet on the ground. Engage your senses. This turns an ordinary activity into a mindful gratitude practice. Express thanks directly. Make it a habit to genuinely thank people in your life, even for small things. Send a quick text, write a short email, or simply say, "Thank you," with sincerity. This not only boosts their mood, but also reinforces your own sense of gratitude and strengthens your relationships. Consider writing a gratitude letter to someone who has positively impacted your life, but whom you haven't properly thanked. Use gratitude prompts. If you are struggling to think of things, use prompts. Examples. What challenge am I grateful to have overcome? What aspect of my job am I grateful for? What about my body am I grateful for today? What simple pleasure did I experience today? Reframe challenges with gratitude. Even in difficult situations, try to find a silver lining or a hidden lesson. This is not about toxic positivity, but about finding meaning. For example, If you lost a job, you might be grateful for the time it gave you to reevaluate your career path, or for the opportunity to learn new skills. If you are going through a health issue, you might be grateful for the support of loved ones or the expertise of your medical team. This practice helps to integrate adversity into a broader narrative of growth. Gratitude jar. Get a jar and some small slips of paper. Throughout the year, when something good happens or you feel grateful, write it down on a slip of paper and put it in the jar. On a difficult day or at the end of the year, open the jar and read all the moments of joy and appreciation. This provides a powerful reminder of the abundance in your life. Remember, the goal of gratitude is not to ignore suffering, but to balance your perspective. Life inevitably brings challenges, pain, and loss. But even in those moments, there are often things to appreciate, lessons to learn, and connections that sustain us. By consciously cultivating gratitude, you are actively rewiring your brain to see the good, to find light amidst the shadows, and to build a more optimistic and resilient inner landscape. This practice is a profound act of self-care and a powerful engine for thriving. Let gratitude be the lens through which you rediscover the richness of your life, no matter the circumstances. Chapter 12, Creating Your Resilience. Toolkit, Daily Habits. We have explored many powerful concepts and strategies throughout this book. Understanding true resilience, shifting your mindset, mastering emotions, challenging thoughts, finding purpose, cultivating connections, and fueling your body. Each of these elements is a vital component of built resilience, but knowledge alone is not enough. True transformation comes from consistent action. This chapter is about taking all these valuable insights and synthesizing them into a practical, personalized resilience toolkit, a set of daily habits that you can consistently implement to strengthen your inner core day by day, moment by moment. It is about moving from understanding what to do to consistently doing it. Think of a skilled craftsman or an elite athlete. They do not just have theoretical knowledge of their craft, they have a dedicated routine, a set of habits they perform consistently day in and day out to maintain and improve their skills. Resilience is no different. It is built through small, consistent actions, not grand, sporadic gestures. These daily habits become the automatic processes that reinforce your mental and emotional strength, making you more robust when challenges inevitably arise. The power lies in consistency over intensity. It is better to do a few minutes of a resilience practice every day than an hour once a month. So how do you create your own personalized resilience toolkit of daily habits? The power of a morning routine, setting your day's tone. How you start your day often dictates its trajectory. A rushed, reactive morning can leave you feeling stressed and unprepared. A deliberate, intentional morning routine, incorporating resilience-building habits, can set a powerful, positive tone. Actionable step. Choose 1-3 simple habits from previous chapters to start your day. This could be 5 minutes of mindful breathing from Chapter 4. Focus on your breath, grounding yourself. 3. Gratitude items from Chapter 11. Quickly jot down or mentally list 3 things you are grateful for. Review your purpose mission statement from Chapter 6. Remind yourself of your why for the day. A few minutes of gentle movement stretching from Chapter 8. Get your body moving. The key is consistency. Make it non-negotiable. Integrate micro practices throughout your day. The pause in action. Life happens, and challenges do not wait for your dedicated resilience practice time. Integrating small, quick bursts of resilience into your daily flow helps you manage real-time stress and reinforce positive patterns. Actionable step. The 3-breath reset. Before responding to a stressful email, during a frustrating moment, or before entering a challenging conversation, take 3 deep, slow breaths. Name it to tame it on the spot. When you feel a surge of emotion, quickly identify it. I'm feeling frustrated right now. Connects to Chapter 4. Check your thoughts. Moment. When you notice a negative thought, quickly ask, is that true? What's another way to look at this? Connects to Chapter 5. Random act of gratitude. Send a quick text of appreciation to someone. These are tiny, almost invisible habits that build significant mental muscle over time. The evening reflection, processing and learning. Just as your morning routine sets the stage, your evening routine provides an opportunity to process the day, learn from experiences, and prepare for restful sleep. Actionable step: journaling, 5 to 10 minutes. Write down any lingering thoughts, worries, or emotions. This helps get them out of your head and onto paper, promoting mental clarity. You can also use it for your gratitude items. Review your day for learnings. What went well today? What was challenging? What did I learn from the challenges? How did I apply my resilience tools? Connects to Chapter 10. Plan 1. Small action for tomorrow. Connects to Chapter 9. Identify just one concrete, achievable task for the next day, particularly related to a problem you are facing. This reduces next day anxiety. Prepare for sleep. Wind down with reading, gentle music, or a bath, avoiding screens. Prioritize your physical pillars, non-negotiables. As discussed in Chapter 8, sleep, nutrition, and movement are not optional extras. They are fundamental to your overall resilience. Actionable step. Consciously schedule time for these. Block out your bedtime, plan your meals, and schedule your movement sessions. Treat them with the same importance as a work meeting. Consistency here builds the physical foundation for your mental and emotional strength. Build in social connection, even small doses. Maintaining your resilience network, Chapter 7, is an ongoing habit. Actionable step. Aim for one meaningful connection point a day or every other day. This could be a phone call to a friend, a genuine conversation with a family member, or checking in on a colleague. Even a few minutes of real connection can make a significant difference. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Building new habits takes time and effort. You will not be perfect every day, and that is absolutely fine. There will be days you miss a practice or revert to old patterns. Do not let one missed day derail your entire effort. Actionable step. If you skip a practice, simply acknowledge it without judgment. Say, okay, I missed it today. I'll get back on track tomorrow. Apply self-compassion, Chapter 10. Consistency over time is what matters, not perfection in every moment. Creating your resilience toolkit is a deeply personal process. It is about discovering which habits resonate most with you and consistently weaving them into the fabric of your daily life. Start small. Choose 1 or 2 new habits to focus on for a week. Build momentum, and then gradually add more. Every single time you intentionally engage in one of these practices, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your unshakable inner strength. This is how resilience is built, through deliberate, consistent daily practice. You are now equipped with the knowledge and the practical steps to become the architect of your own enduring strength, one powerful habit at a time. This is your toolkit, and you hold the power to use it. Chapter 13. Navigating relapses. When resilience wanes, life, by its very nature, is a continuous ebb and flow. Just as there are times of calm and clarity, there will inevitably be moments, days, or even longer periods when your carefully cultivated resilience feels tested or even seems to wane. This is a crucial truth to acknowledge and understand. Building resilience is a journey, not a destination, and it is entirely normal to experience moments where you feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or as if you are slipping back into old, unhelpful patterns. These are not signs of failure. They are simply part of the human experience. This chapter is about recognizing these moments, understanding why they happen, and providing you with a practical roadmap for navigating what we might call relapses in your resilience practice, helping you gently get back on track without judgment or self-criticism. Imagine you are learning to play a musical instrument. You practice diligently, you improve, and you feel more confident. But then, you have an off day. Your fingers feel clumsy, you hit wrong notes, and it sounds terrible. Does that mean you are a bad musician, or that all your practice was useless? Of course not. It means you are human. The same applies to resilience. There will be days when your energy is low, when external pressures are particularly intense, when you are sleep deprived, or when an unexpected stressor hits you particularly hard. In these moments, your emotional regulation might falter, negative thoughts might creep back in more aggressively, and your motivation to engage in your resilience habits might plummet. This is not a failure of your character or a sign that you are not resilient enough. It is simply a moment where your resilience reserves are depleted and you need to recharge and recalibrate. The danger of not acknowledging these moments is that we can fall into a trap of self-blame and judgment. We might think, I should be stronger by now, or all that work was for nothing. This self-criticism only adds another layer of stress and makes it even harder to recover. Resilience, in these moments, is less about fighting the feeling and more about acknowledging it with compassion, understanding its temporary nature, and knowing how to gently guide yourself back towards stability. So, why do these periods of wavering resilience occur? Accumulated stress and burnout. Life's stresses often accumulate. A series of smaller challenges or one prolonged difficult situation can gradually deplete your mental and emotional resources, leading to exhaustion. This is often described as burnout, a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged or excessive stress. Your emotional tank is simply empty. Unexpected, major adversity. Sometimes, a sudden, significant life event, e.g., a major illness, a death, a severe financial crisis, can hit you with such force that your usual coping mechanisms are temporarily overwhelmed. This is normal. Physical depletion. As we discussed in Chapter 8, sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, lack of movement, or an underlying illness can significantly impact your mood and cognitive function, making you feel less capable of handling emotional challenges. Old habits resurfacing. Under stress, our brains often revert to familiar, even if unhelpful, coping mechanisms because they are deeply ingrained. It takes conscious effort to maintain new habits, especially when reserves are low. Lack of self-compassion. Harsh self-judgment after a stumble makes it harder to learn and recover. It keeps you stuck in a loop of shame rather than empowering you to move forward. How do you navigate these relapses and gently get back on track? Recognize the signs without judgment. The very first step is awareness. Notice when you are feeling off. Are you more irritable than usual? Is your sleep disrupted? Are you withdrawing from others? Are you neglecting your resilience habits? Simply acknowledge these signs without immediately labeling them as bad or failure. Just observe. I notice I'm feeling very overwhelmed today and I haven't done my morning gratitude practice. Practice radical self-compassion. This is the most important tool here. When you're feeling low or have slipped up, treat yourself as you would a dear friend who is struggling. Instead of criticizing yourself, offer words of kindness. It's okay. Everyone has tough days. This is a difficult moment, and I'm doing my best. Remind yourself that this is common humanity. You're not alone in feeling this way. This compassionate stance creates a safe space for recovery. Prioritize the basics, the minimum viable resilience. When you are feeling depleted, attempting your full suite of resilience habits might feel impossible. In these moments, strip it back to the absolute essentials. Sleep. Focus on getting enough restful sleep. If that means saying no to something else, do it. Nourishment. Eat regular, nourishing meals, even if they are simple. Avoid excessive sugar or caffeine. Basic movement, even a 10-minute walk outside. One deep breath. If nothing else, Just focus on one truly deep, grounding breath. These are your non-negotiables to stabilize your system. Seek support, don't isolate. When resilience wanes, the tendency is often to withdraw. This is precisely when you need your resilience network the most. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. You do not need to have all the answers or even a clear problem to discuss. Sometimes just saying, "I'm having a really tough time today," is enough. Connects to Chapter 7. A meta-analysis in the American Journal of Public Health noted that social support is a key protective factor against adverse mental health outcomes, especially after stressful life events. Lower your expectations for a while. During a relapse, you might not be operating at your peak. Do not pressure yourself to perform at your usual level. Give yourself permission to do less, to rest more, and to temporarily scale back commitments. This is not giving up. It is strategic retreat and recovery. Re-engage with small, manageable steps. Once you have prioritized the basics and given yourself some compassionate space, gently re-engage with your resilience habits. Do not try to do everything at once. Pick just one habit, perhaps your 3 gratitude items, or a 15-minute journaling session, or a 10-minute walk, and commit to doing just that one thing. The aim is to create a small win, a sense of accomplishment that builds momentum. Connects to Chapter 9. Identify the trigger for future prevention. Once you are feeling a bit stronger, reflect on what might have triggered the dip in resilience. Was it a specific event? A period of prolonged stress? Neglecting your physical health? Understanding the triggers can help you develop proactive strategies for the future to either avoid or better manage similar situations. This is part of the growth from adversity, Chapter 10. Navigating relapses is not about failure. It is about demonstrating a different kind of resilience. The resilience to be imperfect, to accept your human limitations, and to gently guide yourself back to strength. It is a testament to your commitment to your well-being. Everyone falters. The true measure of resilience is not that you never fall, but that you always know how to pick yourself back up, learning and growing stronger each time. Be kind to yourself, seek support, and trust that these moments of struggle are temporary, offering yet another opportunity for deeper understanding and built strength. Chapter 14. Thriving beyond surviving, living a resilient life. For many of us, the immediate goal when facing adversity is simply to survive it, to get through the day, to put one foot in front of the other, to reach the other side. This is a valid and necessary goal, especially during intense periods of struggle. However, developing built resilience is not merely about enduring hardship. It is about transforming your relationship with adversity so that you can not only bounce back, but also bounce forward into a life of greater meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. This chapter is about shifting your perspective from merely surviving to actively thriving, and empowering you to apply your newfound resilience not just to cope with problems, but to consciously design and live a vibrant, growth-oriented life. Surviving is about endurance. Thriving is about expansion. When you are just surviving, your energy is primarily focused on coping, on maintaining equilibrium, and on minimizing pain. When you are thriving, your energy is directed towards growth, learning, creation, and maximizing your potential. The difference is subtle but profound. It is the difference between a tree that simply weathers the storm and then stands as it was, and a tree that, after the storm, pushes its roots deeper, grows new, stronger branches, and bears more fruit. Thriving means not just tolerating life's challenges, but actively using them as catalysts for personal evolution. This shift from surviving to thriving is often a natural byproduct of consistently applying the resilience tools we have discussed. As you practice managing your emotions, challenging negative thoughts, finding purpose, nurturing connections, and caring for your body, you gradually build a stronger internal foundation. With this strength, you gain confidence. You realize that you are capable of handling more than you thought. This newfound self-efficacy then empowers you to move beyond simply reacting to problems and instead proactively seek out opportunities for growth, learning, and contribution. Consider the concept of anti-fragility, a term coined by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. While resilience is about returning to form after a shock, anti-fragility is about getting better from it. A system that is anti-fragile does not just resist shocks, it benefits from them. In human terms, this means that every setback, every challenge, every pressure you face, when approached with a resilient, growth-oriented mindset, makes you more capable, more adaptable, and more robust for the future. You become stronger, not despite the challenges, but because of them. This is the essence of thriving through adversity. So, how do you actively move beyond mere survival into a state of thriving, leveraging your built resilience? Set growth-oriented goals beyond just solving problems. Once you have navigated a particular adversity, instead of just aiming to return to normal, think about how you can leverage that experience for future growth. Actionable step. Reflect on your recent challenges. What new skills did you develop? What insights did you gain? How did your values become clearer? Now set 1 or 2 small, ambitious goals that build on these learnings. For example, if a job loss clarified your purpose, set a goal to actively pursue a career that aligns more closely with that purpose, even if it involves learning new skills or taking a calculated risk. If a health challenge made you appreciate life more, set a goal to prioritize experiences that bring you joy. Actively seek out new challenges and learning opportunities. Thriving is not about resting on your laurels. It is about continuous development. Once you have built resilience, you are better equipped to step outside your comfort zone and embrace challenges as opportunities for further growth. Actionable step. Identify one area where you feel comfortable but could grow. It could be learning a new skill, taking on a new responsibility at work, engaging in a new hobby, or pushing your physical limits safely. The key is to intentionally seek out situations that stretch you, knowing you have the tools to adapt and learn. This cultivates your growth mindset. Chapter 3. Actively. Embrace discomfort as a signal for growth. When you are thriving, you understand that discomfort is not always a sign of something wrong. Often, it is a signal that you are growing. Learning something new, stepping into leadership, or being vulnerable in a relationship can feel uncomfortable, but these are often the pathways to significant expansion. Actionable step. When you feel discomfort, instead of immediately retreating, pause and ask, is this discomfort a signal of danger or a signal of growth? If it is growth, lean into it. Remind yourself that stretching is part of getting stronger. Cultivate a sense of meaning and contribution. Reinforce your purpose. Thriving is deeply connected to living a life of purpose, beyond just personal gain. As discussed in Chapter 6, contributing to something larger than yourself brings deep fulfillment. Actionable step. Find ways to regularly contribute to others or to a cause you believe in. Volunteer, mentor someone, help a neighbor, share your knowledge, or simply be a kind and supportive presence in your community. These acts reinforce your purpose and boost your sense of well-being and connection. Research from the University of California, Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center, indicates that acts of altruism and generosity are directly linked to increased happiness and overall well-being. Practice regular reflection and integration. To truly thrive, you need to regularly reflect on your journey, integrate your past experiences, and consciously apply the lessons learned. Actionable step. Dedicate time each week for deeper reflection, perhaps during your journaling session from Chapter 12. Ask yourself, how has recent adversity shaped me positively? What strengths have I discovered that I didn't know I had? How can I apply the lessons from past challenges to current opportunities? This conscious integration turns experiences into wisdom. Share your story and inspire others. Once you have built significant resilience and experienced growth through adversity, you gain a unique perspective and the ability to help others. Sharing your story, when appropriate and authentic, can be incredibly empowering for both you and your audience. Actionable step. Consider how you can share your insights with others. This could be informally with friends, through a blog, volunteering, or mentoring. By helping others develop their resilience, you further solidify your own understanding and commitment to this way of living. Your journey becomes a beacon for others. Thriving is an active choice, a continuous process of growth and self-actualization that extends beyond merely coping with life's difficulties. It is about leaning into life fully, with all its imperfections and challenges, knowing that you have the built resilience to navigate them and emerge even stronger. It is about consciously designing a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and positive contribution. You have done the hard work of building your resilience. Now it is time to use that strength not just to withstand the storms, but to set sail with confidence towards your most fulfilling life. You are not just a survivor, you are a thriver, capable of extraordinary growth and impact. Chapter 15. Your ongoing journey, a lifetime of growth. As we reach this final chapter, it is vital to acknowledge a fundamental truth about resilience. It is not a fixed state you achieve and then keep forever. It is not a destination at which you arrive, declare victory, and then never have to work at again. Instead, developing built resilience is a continuous, dynamic process, a lifelong journey of learning, adapting, and growing. Just as physical fitness requires ongoing exercise and healthy habits, mental and emotional resilience requires consistent practice and mindful attention. Life will inevitably continue to present new challenges, new uncertainties, and new opportunities for both difficulty and profound growth. The good news is that you are now equipped with the tools, the understanding, and the mindset to navigate these future waves with far greater wisdom and strength than ever before. Think about a river. It is constantly flowing, changing, carving new paths, adapting to the landscape. Yet it remains undeniably a river. Your journey of resilience is much the same. You will encounter new obstacles, new rapids, and new calm stretches. Each experience will offer a fresh opportunity to apply what you have learned, to deepen your understanding of yourself, and to refine your approach. The very act of living is an ongoing lesson in resilience. The purpose of this book was not to provide you with a magic shield that wards off all difficulties, but to empower you with the internal compass and skills to navigate them effectively, no matter their nature or magnitude. One of the most important aspects of this ongoing journey is becoming your own resilience coach. You have learned the principles, practiced the techniques, and gained insights into your own unique patterns of coping and growth. Now it is time to internalize that wisdom and apply it proactively. This means regularly checking in with yourself, observing your thoughts and emotions, consciously applying the tools from your resilience toolkit, and making adjustments as needed. It is about taking ownership of your well-being, understanding that you are the primary architect of your inner strength. Consider the metaphor of tending a garden. Your resilience is like a thriving garden that requires consistent care. You cannot just plant seeds once and expect it to flourish indefinitely without tending. It needs regular watering, self-care, physical pillars, occasional weeding, challenging negative thoughts, releasing unhelpful patterns, fertilizing, seeking purpose, nurturing connections, and sometimes replanting or redesigning, adapting to new circumstances, setting new goals. This ongoing care ensures that your resilience garden remains vibrant and robust, capable of weathering any season. So, how do you continue this journey of lifelong resilience growth? Maintain your daily habits. The toolkit is active. The daily habits you began building in Chapter 12 are your non-negotiables. Consistency is key. Even on busy or challenging days, try to stick to your core practices. A few minutes of mindfulness, your gratitude practice, nourishing meals, brief movement. These small, consistent actions keep your resilience muscles toned and ready. Do not let perfection be the enemy of good. If you miss a day, simply pick it up again the next. Embrace continuous learning. The world is constantly evolving, and so should you. Stay curious. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, and seek out new experiences that challenge your thinking and expand your knowledge. Learning new things keeps your brain agile and adaptable, critical for responding to novel adversities. Look for opportunities to expand your emotional intelligence and deepen your self-awareness. Regularly reflect and re-evaluate your purpose. Your purpose might evolve over time as you grow and your life circumstances change. Periodically revisit your core values and mission statement, Chapter 6. Do they still resonate? Are there new aspects of meaning or contribution you want to explore? This ensures your why remains a vibrant and relevant anchor. Nurture and expand your resilience network. Relationships require ongoing effort. Continue to invest in your existing connections, express gratitude, and be a source of support for others. Also, remain open to forging new connections, especially with people who inspire you, challenge you positively, and share your values. Your network is a living, breathing part of your resilience. View challenges as opportunities for deeper growth. When new adversities arise, instead of immediately seeing them as threats, try to view them through the lens of opportunity. Ask yourself, what new strength can I discover here? What lesson is this teaching me? How can this make me even more capable for what comes next? This perspective, a hallmark of post-traumatic growth, Chapter 10, transforms obstacles into springboards. Practice self-compassion. Relentlessly. You are human. There will be tough days, moments of doubt, and periods where you feel less resilient. In these times, your most powerful ally is self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up, offer yourself kindness, understanding, and acceptance. Remind yourself that imperfection is part of the human condition. This kind internal voice fuels recovery and prevents secondary suffering. Share your strength, inspire others. As you continue to grow in your resilience, you will find yourself in a unique position to help others. By authentically sharing your journey, your strategies, and your insights, when appropriate and helpful, you can become a beacon of hope and inspiration for those who are struggling. This act of giving back not only strengthens your own sense of purpose, but also creates a ripple effect of positive change in the world. Your journey, your story, and your built resilience can illuminate the path for others. The journey of resilience is a testament to the incredible capacity of the human spirit. It is a testament to your power to adapt, to learn, and to grow stronger from every experience. You have now acquired a powerful framework and practical tools to develop built resilience. But remember, the true mastery comes from the ongoing commitment to live these principles every single day. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the growth, and never stop believing in your extraordinary capacity to thrive. You are capable of extraordinary strength, and your journey of growth is endless. Step forward with confidence, for you are now truly equipped to flourish through adversity. Conclusion, your unfolding story of strength. You have reached the end of this book, but more importantly, you are at a new beginning in your personal journey of strength. We have walked through the landscape of resilience, dismantling myths, exploring the science of the mind-body connection, and uncovering practical strategies to transform how you navigate life's inevitable challenges. You have learned that resilience is not an inherent trait reserved for a few lucky individuals, but a dynamic, learnable skill accessible to everyone, including you. Remember the core tenets we have explored. Resilience is about bouncing back, adapting, and growing, not about avoiding pain. Your mindset is your most powerful tool, shifting you from victim to victor. Mastering emotions means acknowledging and processing them, not suppressing them. Challenging unhelpful thoughts empowers you to choose your internal narrative. Purpose acts as your unshakable why, guiding you through the darkest moments. strong connections form your vital support network, reminding you that you are not alone. Fueling your body with sleep, nutrition, and movement builds your physical and mental foundation. Strategic action is the antidote to anxiety, breaking down problems into manageable steps. Embracing imperfection and learning from stumbles turns setbacks into powerful lessons. Practicing gratitude rewires your brain for optimism and highlights the good that always exists. Consistently applying these principles through daily habits creates your personalized resilience toolkit. And recognizing that relapses are normal and knowing how to gently get back on track is part of the journey. You are now equipped with a profound understanding of how to develop built resilience and how to move beyond mere survival into a state of thriving. This means not just coping with adversity, but actively using it as a catalyst for deeper personal growth, greater self-awareness, and a richer, more meaningful life. Your resilience story is uniquely yours, and it is still unfolding. There will be chapters filled with joy and triumph, and there will be chapters that test your very core. But now, you hold the pen. You have the ability to shape your responses, to choose your perspective, and to leverage every experience for your ultimate betterment. Go forth with confidence. Apply these principles not just when adversity strikes, but every single day. Make these tools part of your living, breathing reality. Be patient with yourself, compassionate towards your struggles, and relentless in your commitment to growth. You have an incredible capacity for strength, adaptability, and transformation. The world needs your built resilience, and your life will be richer for it. Continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to thrive. Your strength is undeniable. Your journey has just truly begun.